Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode. Share, like, leave a comment. Help push these YouTube videos forward. Now, let's jump right into the videos.
I'm sure you've all seen this interview with Macron at Davos, but where are they for real? Does this look normal?
I'm extremely happy to be here, and it's great to be here, as the Financial Times would say. So let's try to address the key challenge of this world in a few minutes' time. But it's clear that we are reaching a time of instability, of imbalances, both from the security and defense point of view and the economic point of view. Look at the situation where we are. I mean, a shift towards autocracy against democracy, more violence, more than 60 wars in 2024, an absolute record, even if I understood a few of them were fixed. And conflict has become normalized, hybrid, expanding into new domains, space.
I don't know, but didn't that seem weird to you that he was wearing glasses like that at a speech, especially reflective glasses? That was a little strange right there. I felt like he did that on purpose. Maybe he's trying to reveal some truth, or maybe, he's trying to let the public catch on to where they at. I don't know, but that was pretty strange to me.
The Willow AI chip by Google. Joe Rogan talked about this. It's a computer chip. It can travel to different dimensions and process calculations faster just because it doesn't think like the human mind. It's like a quantum computer.
So it can think ahead?
Yes, and it can do calculations faster.
In benchmark tests, Willow solved a standard computation in less than 5 minutes that would take a leading supercomputer over 10 septillion years to solve, far beyond the age of the universe.
But one thing that you talked about, remember that aliens spotted in the Miami Strip?
Yeah.
This is crazy. They're saying that theory, the only reason why that happened was because they tested that chip on the same day.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, as the Miami incident.
Oh,
So they're saying if you can jump dimensions, it just opened a little portal. Other things came into the real world, and that's why they can't explain it. Why do you think it's not covered? Because, Miami doesn't know what the hell that is, and it just disappeared right away. Maybe that's because the computer right after closed. That's all that it needed.
These music executives were vacationing in Barbados and they saw Rihanna and her friends on the beach in a pro shirt, but she was a teenager and she was able to leave Barbados with these grown white men to go to New York City, where they kept her in the room for 24 hours straight and signed her on the spot. It's hard for island girls to actually leave the island. So who paid money for this girl to leave?
The video you just watched exposes the secret behind Rihanna's rise to fame. In the early 2000s, Jay-Z was at the peak of his power. So why would he keep Rihanna, only 17 years old, locked in an office until 3 a.m.? The rumor is that she didn't just sign a contract that night, she was transferred. In the industry, that's not called an audition. It's called an initiation. Look closely. Overnight, her innocence vanished, replaced by the image of good girl gone bad. Jay-Z doesn't sign artists. He manufactures instant superstars using a much darker method. When he signed Rihanna, he allegedly said there were only two options that night. She either left with a contract or she jumped out the window. At that point, there was no negotiation. That level of urgency for an unknown teenager from Barbados makes no sense. Rihanna's explosive success immediately afterward can't just be a coincidence. Answer this in the comments. Why did Jay-Z want Rihanna so badly? Because threatening someone into signing a contract never ends well.
If you're enjoying this video, I put several videos out a week. It'll be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
United States Space Force from Colorado to Huntsville because, and Kash Patel was saying you're sending 500 FBI there to finish cleaning it up. What's to clean up? Well, let me tell you, from Eglin Air Force Base up to Nashville is a maglev line. And that is part of what's on there is Redwood, is it Redwood? Redstone, Redstone Arsenal. And also you have NASA, and all of that has guns under it, all the way up to Nashville, where you have a giant super dome underneath there that has what is called Colossus. This is captured by Elon Musk. It's an AI, a giant super powerful AI that's working with the super powerful, the most powerful I don't want to call it AI, ancient silicon-based life form that has ascended to pure plasma, that is seized back in 2018 by the alliance that is in Mount Haynes. As you know, Trump just...
Oh my god. That's a centaur. I don't believe my eyes.
I don't believe it either.
Well, you look beautiful. Look at that. Oh, she's fooling me. Gotta strike a pose. Strike a pose, strike a pose.
Does she live in a factory? It's a factory elevator.
So my phone has just started working. Yes, I am with Verizon. I have not had service for the since I woke up this morning. It's been on SOS. I just want to tell y'all something. If everybody's phone can go out at once, right? That's all it takes. They have so much, I don't think we understand this. They have so much control. I might say, oh, it was just a solar flare. It does not matter what it is. If everybody's phone can go out at once across the whole entire United States, they have a lot of power, because I don't think this was just some random coincidence, right? Isn't it weird that all these problems start happening when JD Vance is going to meet with Greenland? We're not gonna get too deep into that, but I'm just saying, y'all gotta start thinking and stop just thinking things are coincidence, y'all. There are not many coincidences on this earth. And I don't think, honestly, I'm under the impression that there are no coincidences. And I don't think that this Verizon outage was a coincidence, because it wasn't just Verizon, it was a multitude of different networks that went out. Some people's phones are still down and people can't dial out and people can't. I thought it was the end of the world. I thought we got hit with a nuke. I had to go look outside. I'm trying to see if something going on, because I couldn't do nothing on my phone. Not one thing on my phone, not one thing. So imagine if they clip the Wi-Fi and then they clip your phone. You cannot talk to anybody, and that's easy for them to do. There is Verizon Wi-Fi. And so if you have Verizon Wi-Fi and you have the phone, then you had no service at all.
My phone also did go out. It went out for about 6 hours. And when this happened, I thought it was a hack. I thought China or Russia hacked the satellites or something. And then to be out that long, thank God it came back, because he's right. What if you're like out of town, you're trying to contact family, there's an emergency? That was a scary moment. Did this affect you?
Check this out. Scientists say when we're sleeping, we are actually having full entire lifetimes while we're sleeping. Yet we forget them when we wake up. They say that there's a system inside the brain they just found out that deletes the entire dream except for the little bit of snippets that you remember when you wake up. So you're actually living a full lifetime during these sleep patterns. So you might be dreaming that you're a spy, or that you own a Porsche, or that you're super rich, but you're having the whole lifetime while you're sleeping in that dream. Now, what's interesting is they say you have to delete that because you'll go insane if you don't. Yeah, well, I get that. I understand that. There's many dreams. I don't know if you experienced this, but when I wake up, I wish I was still back in the dream. I was having an awesome life in that dream. I didn't want to wake up. I want to be back in that dream. So have you had this same experience, or have you remembered like living an entire lifetime in a dream? I haven't, but maybe you have. Put your comment there. I'd love to hear about it. Lockdown yourself.
Will the United States strike Iran tonight? This is the million-dollar question, and the way things are going, it seems like it's going to happen very soon. According to a military official, it says that all signals are that U.S. attack is imminent. Also, the United States withdrew some personnel from bases in the Middle East as precaution because Iran said if we strike, then they're going to strike right back. Iran also completely shut down their airspace, and now we're seeing footage of fighter jets on the border of Iran and Iraq, and foreign officials are now warning, do not travel. Things are really starting to heat up. The only problem is there's a lot of propaganda and misinformation, so it's hard to find out what's really happening. Everything I told you is from verified sources, but when we get more information, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Russia is actively considering the use of nuclear weapons against Europe, specifically the UK and Germany.
Next step will be waves of nuclear. My choice will be Britain and Germany.
No one seems to be paying any attention at all to the biggest story of our lifetimes, potentially. Russia has rewritten its nuclear strategy to include use of nuclear weapons against countries that are acting as proxies for nuclear armed powers. And then last week, a week ago, Russia sent hypersonic missiles into Ukraine. This was an attack designed to say, whoa, we feel like our core interests, our existential interests are threatened. And if you don't back off, the next one will have a nuclear warhead on it. And it's coming at you, Europe.
Where it is to survive any bear attack ever.
Oh.
Sterling, why are you covering an obvious AI video? I know I'm going to get the comments, but trust me, there is actually a seed of truth in this one. This is another video that I got tagged in on TikTok. This one got 40 million views. It shows a man dressed in a very peculiar suit with spikes coming out of it. We then see a brown bear attacking him, and he's defending himself with the suit. Obviously, that video was AI, but the video idea itself is actually rooted in reality. We did at one point have bear-proof suits. Or at least this guy did, an inventor by the name of Tori Hubertis. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This guy back in the 1990s developed the Ursus series bear suit. You guys will notice it kind of looks like a superhero. It's really badass, with the intention of keeping people that work in close contact with bears safe in the event of an attack. He tested it in very extreme ways, getting hit with boards, getting hit by vehicles, and falling down slopes, and
A mysterious creature was reportedly spotted in a rainforest, looking more like an alien creature than anything else. Residents claim to have seen it before, but no one has ever gotten it on camera until now. The creature had changing eye colors and hissed like a snake, only it looked like a mix of a mantis and insect. It was like something out of a sci-fi movie. So the question remains, is it real? Locals claim they've seen it, but this is first time on camera. Eyes change color, hisses like a snake, but looks like an alien and insect hybrid. Is it real? You decide.
I don't think that was real. But let me know in the comments, do you think that was real?
If you want to see evidence that there was the bone I found during the midst of all this that I brought to the Whaling Museum and they still can't tell me what it is. There's something fishy about that, man. Look, now, as you can see, it's starting to leak. Like, this is not bone. It's a different type of bone. It's very bendable. It's very malleable. It's usually I keep it in storage, but something's wrong. This isn't normal bone. I can go grab a normal bone and show you what happens over time. Now, this is a whale bone. This is a whale. I believe this is part of a whale's jaw. Very white. Very white. Chalk.
Yeah.
Porcelain. This, I've never seen a bone like this. This is not a vertebrae. I have vertebrae. This is leaking, right? It's changing color. I've never seen a bone like this. I took this to the Whaling Museum, where I'm from. I had to wait a month for them to get back to me. Finally got back to me. They had a marine biologist professor there. He said he would look at the bone for me. He looked at it. Within 5 seconds of looking at it, he starts taking out his phone, taking out measuring sticks, asking me where I got this, where I was in the ocean. I was telling him. He's like, I've never seen anything like this. So I get this. He looks at it. He said, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'm gonna send a picture of this to my colleagues I have, and we'll get back to you. He's like, before you leave, would you mind keeping it here? I said, no, sorry.
They've been talking about taking the Earth's population from 8 billion people to 500 million. It was on the Georgia Guidestones. All these people in the World Economic Forum talk about it openly, and you're too busy scrolling through the gram to take it serious. These people intend to do this. This is what communists do. Most people out here are totally clueless as to what this is all about. These people are trying to fucking remove you from the planet. That's what's happening here.
The fourth horseman, who's called death, and he's given power to kill a fourth of humanity through war, through pestilence, which is diseases, through actual famine, and then something called the beasts of the earth. And if you talk to your average pastor about this, they won't say much, because they'll say something like, well, this means that animals are, hamsters and giraffes and porcupines are going to lose their minds and start slapping people around. The lions are going to escape from the zoo and start eating people. They don't spend much time on it because it sounds weird. But that word, beast of the earth, is actually the Greek term therion gigantes, or therion gi. Therion, we know throughout the rest of Revelation, it means a supernatural entity. The Antichrist is called a therion. So the false prophet is called a therion. This is a supernatural creature. That word gi, or gigantes, it means the earthborn. The earthborn, or gi, is the exact same word that's used in the Septuagint version of the Old Testament for the Nephilim. That's why we call them giants.
Wow. Okay.
So the Nephilim are coming back. They're going to be the ones who are going to be responsible for killing a fourth of mankind. Those are from Satan.
So did you know that if you were a descendant of Ireland, you might actually be related to werewolves? A descendant of werewolves. Why? If you have the last name Phelan or Whalen or any derivative of those, you may be descended by werewolves. Now, let me explain why. So in the Kingdom of Ossory, which is in Ireland, it was known for shape-shifting werewolves back in the day, hundreds of years ago, and they would manifest on battlefields. They would fight for the Irish and basically maintain their land. Now, people would say they would shapeshift into humans, and when they shapeshifted into humans, they would interact and have relations and then have children. Those children could then shapeshift into werewolves. Now, some people would say, well, how did this happen originally? Originally, they were considered cursed, or they were passing down a special trait that was genetic in that area of the Kingdom of Ossory and Ireland. Now, is that possible today? According to the folklore, if you have the last name Phelan or Whalen, or a derivative of those, or you are related to them, you may have that trait. So we may have very real shape-shifting werewolves, and it might happen on the full moon. What do you think? Put your comment in the comment section. If you're from Ireland, love to hear what you have to say. Or if you are Irish. Peace.
That the Epstein files, it continues. It's even worse. I just spent hours listening to another testimony. And when the testimony came out just in the last few days, that's when they pump up the Minnesota. Pump up the Minnesota, beat a few more people up, kill a few more people. Get everybody to look over there. Don't look. And again, I'm not talking about just trafficking. I'm talking about outrageous snuff films, murdering young, I would say children, youth. They're supposed to be graveyards filled with missing kids, and no one knew who they were. I know I sound like a crazy person, I know, but it's not. There is a testimony, Sasha Riley. I ask people to go and investigate and listen to it yourself. There are some issues.
You know, what she says does make sense. They distract you. It's funny how she mentioned the Minnesota thing, right? You see that all over the news. You don't hear about the Epstein files. The more I watch these videos, they all make sense. They all connect. They pull the wool over our eyes, but the veil is thinning. Social media is putting it out there for everyone to see. It ain't like back in the days where you just got your news from the news station on TV.
Meet Atlas, 5'9", 200-pound AI-powered humanoid created by Boston Dynamics. The rise of the robots is science fiction no more.
Oh, how fitting, naming this humanoid robot after an Antichrist figure. Now, for those wondering what I'm talking about, what do I mean being named after an Antichrist figure? Well, the name Atlas goes back to Greek mythology, but also we can see right here with Atlas, as described by Plato, was the first and supreme king of the legendary island of Atlantis. Now, according to Plato, the first 10 kings of Atlantis were the 10 sons of the sea god Poseidon. Atlas ruling as the supreme sovereign over the island named in his honor. Now, where have we heard this before? Oh yeah, that's right. The 10 kings during the Great Tribulation, the book of Revelation, where the little horn, the Antichrist, rises from the 10. And now we can also see, according to Greek mythology, which goes back to the polytheistic religion of the antediluvian world. That is where you get this belief in Atlantis, by the way, with the fallen angels mating with the daughters of men, producing the Nephilim, the Titans. So you have the gods and then the Titans. But according to Greek mythology, Atlas, a Titan, an offspring of the gods, so an offspring of the fallen angels, was condemned to uphold the heavens or the sky for eternity. Now, of course, as we already know, these individuals, these rulers, these puppet masters love their Greek and Roman mythology because it goes back to the polytheistic mystery religion of Babylon, Sumer, the antediluvian world. So it's interesting to note that they always like to name their creations after these Greek or Roman or Egyptian gods. But I found it also interesting, something to note down here, underlined in red, how in some texts, Atlas is even credited with the invention of astronomy itself. Now, the reason why I find that interesting with my own pattern recognition, which gets me into trouble sometimes, could also be absolutely nothing, but found it interesting how we can see Google Gemini is taking control of humanoid robots. And what robot, you might be asking? Well, Gemini is going to be inside of Atlas. And now, of course, as I'm sure you already know, the word Gemini in Latin means twin, and it is a zodiac sign and a constellation in the northern sky known as the twins. And of course, it goes back to Greek mythology with the twins, son of Leda, one mortal and one immortal. So there you go. Going back to Genesis chapter 6, the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim, the fallen angels, coming down and mating with the daughters of men to produce the Nephilim. And now, like I have already pointed out before, but I will just reiterate once again right here, how these individuals love to name their creations after these Greek and Roman deities that go back to the polytheistic mystery religions, that go back to Egypt, Babylon, Sumer, and the antediluvian world ultimately. But as we can see, Meta, lovely Meta, building their AI data centers. And what do they name them? Oh yeah, Prometheus and Hyperion. I'm sure it means nothing. Now, let me just clarify something really quick for everybody so that there's no misunderstanding here. I am not calling this humanoid robot Atlas the Antichrist. I'm just pointing out the fact that they named this humanoid robot Atlas after an Antichrist figure in the past. Atlas being the supreme king of Atlantis over 10 kings. And there's just a lot of ties and connections, again, going back to Genesis 6 and the biblical story of the fallen mating with the daughters of men to produce the Nephilim. Just showing you guys how they just like to put it right in our face, and they do it all the time with naming things after these Greek and Roman deities. They do it with Apollo constantly, Prometheus constantly. It's in our face. That is their religion, this mystery Babylonian religion. It always goes back to the pre-flood world, the antediluvian world. And these are the individuals who are the puppet masters pulling the strings, and just wanted to relay this information to you guys. Because as the Good Shepherd has commanded us all as believers to be as wise as a serpent and innocent and gentle as a dove, just to understand the spiritual war that we are in and the enemy that we are warring against. This Antichrist religion of polytheism that goes back to worshiping fallen angels. And these individuals still do it to this day, right in front of our face. But people just write it off as mythology, as stories. But to the individuals within the occult and these esoteric societies, they don't see it as just literature and stories. They are real entities, real deities that they worship, going back to idol worship. And that's why they like to name their things after them and just mock us right to our face as Christians, as little sheep that we are. So I just wanted to relay this information to you guys. You can go ahead and do your own further research. Gary Wayne has some good information on all this stuff with his Genesis 6 books and everything. But yeah, with that, we focus upon the Good Shepherd. We focus upon the Lord. We rest upon him, the life, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ unto eternal life, giving us his righteousness in place of our sin by faith, saved by grace through faith, nothing of ourselves. How good this news is, guys. We rest in the finished work of Jesus on the cross, and we can just abide in him, his love, his grace, his mercy, and going forth as children of God. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. God bless. I love you all so much. And remember, the just shall live by faith.
These videos are for entertainment and education. Real or fake, fact or fiction, you decide. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these videos. I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, this is CYPTV, and I'm out.